They told you nuts were healthy. Simple as that. Packed with good fats, protein, a crunchy path to better health. And for many folks, especially younger ones, that's often true. But here's the uncomfortable truth, the one that often gets whispered in medical offices but rarely shouted from the rooftops. After age 60, some of the most popular nuts sitting right there in your kitchen cupboard might be working against you. Think about it. That handful you grab every afternoon, believing you're doing something good, could it be quietly chipping away at your vitality? Could it be subtly raising your blood pressure, fogging up your once sharp memory, straining your kidneys, or even dimming that spark in the bedroom? The frightening part is, most seniors eat them faithfully, day in and day out, convinced they're on the right track. My name is Dr. David Lee. For over 30 years, I've dedicated my practice to helping men and women over 60 rediscover their energy, reclaim their mental clarity, and yes, reignite that essential vitality in their relationships and intimate lives. I've witnessed, time and again, the incredible power of food. The right choices, they can restore life, bring back that feeling of being truly alive. The wrong ones, they act like silent thieves, stealing your well-being bit by bit, often without you even realizing it's happening. Now, what if I told you there are 4 specific nuts that are like nature's little powerhouses for the 60-plus body? Nuts scientifically shown to boost blood flow to your heart and your brain, help balance those tricky blood sugar levels, and even support deeper, more restful sleep? Amazing, right? Yet, shockingly few people over 60 are making these a regular part of their diet. And here's the flip side, the part that really worries me. There are 4 other nuts, heavily marketed as healthy choices, that are actually causing problems. They can quietly fuel inflammation throughout your body, interfere with crucial medications you might be taking, and even put extra stress on your heart. You deserve to know the difference. You deserve the facts. So, in this discussion, I'm going to walk you through all 8. The 4 superheroes you should be choosing every single day, and the 4 villains you'd be wise to avoid. This isn't just my opinion. It's based on clear science, tailored specifically for the unique needs of your body after 60. And near the end, I'll expose one nut in particular, the most dangerous of the bunch, strongly linked to memory issues and even potential liver damage. Chances are it's sitting in your pantry right now. Before we dive into this vital information, if you find discussions like this helpful, focused specifically on your health journey after 60, please consider subscribing to this channel. Hit that notification bell too, so you never miss another practical, science-backed lesson designed for your well-being. Your health is precious, and staying informed is a powerful step. If this message resonates with you, type 1 in the comments below. If it doesn't quite hit home, type 0, and honestly, tell me how I can better serve your health needs. Your feedback truly guides what I share. Alright, let's get started with the good news. The 4 powerful nuts you should welcome onto your plate daily. These aren't just snacks. Think of them as concentrated natural medicine, fine-tuned for your heart, your brain, your energy levels, and yes, supporting that essential vitality in the bedroom too. Let's look closely at each one and understand why they become so important after 60. 1. Brazil nuts, your thyroid and testosterone ally. I remember Jack, not his real name, of course, a retired firefighter in his late 60s. He walked into my office looking utterly drained. The spark was gone. He complained of constant fatigue, a frustrating mental fog he couldn't shake, and a noticeable dip in his energy and, well, his performance where it mattered. He'd tried it all, supplements, special diets, the latest pills promising a fix. Nothing brought back that feeling of vitality. We ran comprehensive tests, and the results pointed to something many older men overlook: a severe deficiency in selenium. This tiny trace mineral plays an outsized role in how we feel, think, and function as we age. The solution I gave Jack was disarmingly simple. Eat 1 Brazil nut a day. Just 1. No complex prescriptions, no elaborate plans. Just 1 nut. 3 weeks later, Jack returned. The change was visible. More color in his face, a sharper focus in his eyes. He leaned in, almost conspiratorially, with a smile and said, "Doc, I don't know what magic is in that nut, but I feel like myself again. That's the unassuming power of the Brazil nut. Here's why it works. Brazil nuts are the undisputed champions of natural selenium. A single nut provides over 130% of your daily requirement. And unlike synthetic supplements you might take, the selenium in Brazil nuts is bound to organic compounds, making it far easier for your body, especially as it ages, to absorb and actually use. Why does selenium matter so much after 60? First, it's absolutely critical for activating your thyroid hormones. Your thyroid is like the body's master metabolic regulator. As we get older, thyroid function often slows down, leading to fatigue, feeling cold easily, unexplained weight gain, and that loss of the spark Jack experienced. Selenium directly supports optimal thyroid function from the inside out. But there's more. Selenium is also a key player in testosterone production, something most men don't connect to this mineral. Low testosterone isn't just about libido. It impacts muscle strength, sleep quality, motivation, and even your ability to stay mentally sharp. Brazil nuts gently support your body's natural ability to produce and balance this crucial hormone. And there's a third, often overlooked benefit: nerve protection. The healthy fats in Brazil nuts help maintain the myelin sheath, the protective insulation around your nerves. This sheath keeps nerve signals firing quickly and efficiently. Without it, we move slower, think slower, and feel disconnected from the responsive body we once knew. Keeping that myelin intact is vital as we age, and Brazil nuts offer direct support. A crucial note: more is not better. Selenium is essential, but too much can become toxic over time. That's why I strongly recommend no more than 1 or 2 Brazil nuts per day. Keep them refrigerated, ideally still in their shells to preserve freshness, and chew them thoroughly. It's a small, simple ritual with a massive return on your health investment. You don't need expensive bottles. You just need nature's wisdom, consistently applied, like Jack did. If one humble nut can help awaken your thyroid, gently recharge testosterone pathways, and protect your precious nerves, imagine what adding the next one to your daily routine can do. It's the one I call the silent guardian, defending your bones and your brain, yet most seniors aren't getting nearly enough of it. Let's talk almonds. 2. Almonds. The bone and brain defender. There's something deeply comforting about almonds. Maybe it's their familiar, satisfying crunch, or the subtle, almost sweet aftertaste. For me, they always bring back memories of my father. Every morning, without fail, he'd sit by the kitchen window with his cup of warm tea and a small bowl of raw almonds. He never skipped it. "These little things are keeping me sharp, son," he'd say. Back then, I appreciated his routine but didn't grasp the profound science behind it. Now, after decades of medical practice and diving deep into aging research, I understand he was absolutely onto something vital. Almonds are one of the most underestimated, yet incredibly powerful, allies for senior health. They're not just a snack. They are a daily defense system for 2 critically vulnerable areas as we age: your bones and your brain. Let's start with your bones. After 60, and especially accelerating past 65, bone density naturally begins a more rapid decline. The risk of falls increases dramatically, fractures take longer to heal, and what might have been a minor stumble can turn into a life-altering event with months of difficult recovery. Almonds are a good source of calcium, about 100 milligrams in just a quarter cup, essential for bone structure. But what truly makes them stand out is their magnesium content. Magnesium acts like a skilled traffic controller. It helps direct calcium into your bones where it belongs, strengthening them, instead of letting it build up in your arteries where it can cause harm. This powerful combination of calcium and magnesium in one easily accessible food is a real boon for senior bone health. Now, let's talk about your brain. The fear of memory loss, Alzheimer's, dementia, or even just persistent brain fog weighs heavily on so many seniors I meet, often more than the fear of heart disease. And understandably so. These conditions don't just steal memories. They erode independence and identity. Almonds come armed with powerful antioxidants, particularly concentrated in their thin, brown skin. The flavonoids in that skin work synergistically with the vitamin E found abundantly in almonds to combat oxidative stress, a major culprit in the damage to brain cells as we age. Research from places like Tufts University suggests that consistent almond consumption may even help slow the progression of cognitive decline. It's like giving your brain cells a daily shield. Beyond bones and brains, almonds offer another unsung hero: fiber, around 3.5 grams per serving. This is crucial for combating constipation, an uncomfortable issue that silently affects nearly half of all seniors. Regular, comfortable digestion might not sound glamorous, but trust me, it makes a world of difference in daily energy levels, mood, and overall comfort. Your gut health is foundational to how you feel. So how much? I typically recommend 15 to 20 almonds per day. Choose raw or dry roasted, unsalted varieties. And here's a key piece of advice often missed: chew them thoroughly. This is especially important for seniors who might have dental work, sensitive teeth, or even mild swallowing difficulties. Take your time. Make it a mindful moment. You're not just eating. You're actively investing in your future mobility, your mental clarity, and your daily dignity. Almonds are silent protectors. Make them a daily ritual, and your body will respond with stronger steps, clearer thoughts, and simply better days. But what if I told you there's a nut that looks remarkably like the human brain, and science suggests it might just be one of the best natural foods we have for actually preventing memory decline, enhancing blood flow, and even promoting deeper sleep? That's exactly the powerhouse we're turning to next: the walnut. 3. Walnuts. The brain's favorite food. I recall a visit years ago with a patient named Harold, name changed. A retired music teacher in his 70s. He was grappling not only with the profound grief of losing his wife, but also with unsettling memory lapses. He'd forget names, misplace his keys constantly, even get confused on familiar drives home. During our conversation, he opened his kitchen cabinet and pulled out a small glass jar. Inside were walnuts. He looked at me and said, "I read somewhere these are good for the brain. And look, they even look like a brain." That moment stayed with me, and not just because of the visual similarity, but because Harold, in his quiet, determined way, was reaching for something natural to fight back. And remarkably, science strongly supports his intuition. Walnuts are truly extraordinary. They're more than a snack. They're one of nature's most potent brain-supporting foods. Structurally, yes, their wrinkled appearance resembles the human brain. But biochemically, they do something even more profound. Walnuts are exceptionally rich in alpha-linolenic acid, ALA, a plant-based omega-3 fatty acid. ALA is vital for building and maintaining the flexible membranes surrounding your brain cells. As we age, these membranes can stiffen, slowing down communication between neurons, leading to fuzzy thinking and memory struggles. ALA helps keep these connections fluid and strong. Think of it as oiling the gears of your mind, but that's just the start. Walnuts are also loaded with polyphenol, powerful antioxidants with a unique ability to cross the protective blood-brain barrier. Once there, they directly target and reduce inflammation within your brain tissue. This is critical because chronic inflammation is increasingly recognized as a major driver of dementia, Alzheimer's, and general cognitive decline. Walnuts tackle this inflammation at its source, offering protection many supplements can't match. A compelling study published in the Journal of Nutrition, Health and Aging found that older adults consuming just 1.5 ounces, a small handful of walnuts daily for 8 weeks, showed measurable improvements in processing speed and mental flexibility. These aren't just abstract numbers. This translates to catching a grandchild's joke, remembering an appointment, or staying engaged in a lively conversation. And here's a fascinating benefit many overlook. Walnuts naturally contain melatonin, the hormone your body produces to regulate sleep-wake cycles. As we grow older, our natural melatonin production often declines, leading to restless nights, difficulty falling asleep, and feeling unrefreshed in the morning. For many of my older patients, incorporating a small handful of walnuts as an evening snack has made a noticeable difference in sleep quality and next-day alertness. I recommend aiming for 7 to 9 walnut halves per day. Store them in the refrigerator to protect their delicate oils from spoiling due to heat or light, and embrace the slight bitterness in the skin. That's where many of those crucial polyphenols reside. Consider it a small, protective tang. Harold still eats his walnuts daily. While the loss of his wife remains profound, he recently shared that his memory feels more reliable, his focus is sharper, and he feels more connected to himself. Walnuts won't work overnight miracles, but consistently, they nourish and protect the most precious asset you have, your mind. Now, if walnuts are the brain's champion, the next nut is the unsung hero working quietly for your blood pressure, your precious eyesight, and even your blood sugar stability, often all at once. It's frequently overlooked, but once you understand its benefits, you'll never take it for granted. Let's talk pistachios. For pistachios, blood pressure, vision, and blood sugar ally growing up, my grandfather always had an old wooden bowl on his kitchen counter filled with pistachios. Every single afternoon, he'd settle into his worn armchair with a small handful, patiently cracking them open one by one. As a kid, I just saw it as his quirky habit. Now, armed with decades of nutritional science and understanding the aging process, I realize he was engaging in a profoundly wise act of self-care, completely intuitively. That simple bowl was protecting his blood pressure, safeguarding his eyesight, and helping his body manage blood sugar, all in one satisfying ritual. Pistachios are, without a doubt, one of the most underrated superfoods for seniors. They get overshadowed by trendier options, but what they lack in hype, they deliver tenfold in functional benefits. Let's break down their triple threat power. Blood pressure defender. Pistachios are potassium powerhouses, packing around 285 milligrams per ounce. That's more than many fruits and vegetables. Potassium is absolutely essential for counteracting the effects of sodium and maintaining healthy blood pressure. This becomes increasingly critical after 60, when arteries naturally stiffen and sensitivity to salt often heightens. For seniors managing hypertension, incorporating pistachios offers a delicious, natural strategy alongside medical guidance. Studies, like one published in the American Journal of Clinical Nutrition, have shown their beneficial effects on vascular health. Vision protector. These little green gems are rich in two specific carotenoids, lutein and zeaxanthin. These compounds are like internal sunglasses. They accumulate in the macula of your retina, acting as a natural filter against harmful blue light, think screens, sunlight, that can damage delicate eye cells over time. This directly supports the fight against age-related macular degeneration, AMD, a leading cause of vision loss in seniors. Protecting your sight is paramount for maintaining independence and quality of life. Blood sugar balancer. Surprisingly, pistachios are excellent allies for blood sugar regulation. With about 3 grams of fiber per ounce and a naturally low glycemic index, they help slow down digestion. This means they prevent those rapid spikes in blood sugar after meals and promote more stable insulin levels. For the millions of seniors navigating diabetes or prediabetes, swapping processed snacks for a portion of pistachios can make a tangible difference in glucose control. There's also a brilliant behavioral bonus: eating them in the shell. The act of shelling naturally slows down your eating pace. This allows your body's natural satiety signals time to kick in, helping prevent overeating. Plus, the accumulating pile of empty shells provides a clear visual cue of how much you've consumed, taking the guesswork out of portion control. It turns snacking into a mindful, almost meditative practice. Aim for about 1 ounce per day, roughly 49 kernels. Choose unsalted or very lightly salted varieties to maximize benefits and minimize sodium. If arthritis or limited hand strength makes shelling difficult, look for the convenient, naturally open varieties. Pistachios offer that rare, beautiful combination. Significant nutrient density, delicious flavor, and genuine therapeutic benefit. They support your heart, your eyes, your metabolic health, and even your sense of mindful control over your eating habits. But here's the crucial pivot. While these 4 nuts, Brazil, almonds, walnuts, pistachios, can be powerful allies after 60, there are others that can quietly work against you. Nuts that look innocent, even earn healthy labels, but are actually triggering internal inflammation, spiking blood pressure, interfering with vital medications, and contributing to that frustrating brain fog. You absolutely deserve to know which ones they are. This is where the truth becomes essential, and honestly, a bit surprising for many. Let's uncover the 4 nuts you should seriously consider avoiding. 1. Peanuts. The inflammation and toxin trap. I vividly recall George, name changed, a proud 72-year-old Vietnam vet who took staying active seriously. He came in feeling off. His joints ached persistently, fatigue was his constant companion, and his blood pressure had crept up despite no major lifestyle shifts. As we meticulously reviewed his daily habits, one detail stood out. He snacked on peanuts almost every day. "They're healthy, right, Doc?" he asked, genuinely confused. That moment highlighted just how much lingering confusion surrounds peanuts, especially for seniors. The hard truth? Peanuts aren't actually nuts. They're legumes grown underground. And that single fact makes a world of difference for the aging body. Because they grow in the ground, peanuts are highly susceptible to mold, particularly one that produces a toxin called aflatoxin. This isn't mold you can see, smell, or taste. It's insidious. Over time, even low-level exposure can build up in the body, placing strain on the liver, your main detox organ, weakening the immune system, and research suggests it may even increase certain cancer risks. Seniors, whose natural detoxification pathways slow down significantly with age, are especially vulnerable to these invisible threats. Beyond the toxin risk, peanuts are notorious for triggering inflammatory responses, even in people without a classic allergy. This isn't dramatic swelling. It's a low-grade, chronic inflammation that simmers in joints, blood vessels, and even brain tissue. For seniors already battling stiffness, arthritis pain, fatigue, or cognitive fog, peanuts can unknowingly add fuel to the fire. This inflammation is a key player in cardiovascular stress and cognitive decline. Then there's the salt factor. Most commercial peanuts are roasted and heavily salted. For the significant percentage of seniors managing high blood pressure, over 60% of adults over 65, this added sodium is counterproductive. And let's not forget commercial peanut butter. Often loaded with added sugars and hydrogenated oils, trans fats, turning a seemingly simple spread into a triple threat. Even natural peanut butter isn't off the hook. Peanuts are very high in omega-6 fatty acids. While some omega-6 is essential, the modern diet is already overloaded, creating an imbalance with omega-3s. This imbalance itself promotes inflammation, potentially harming circulation, memory, and overall resilience in an aging body. Finally, peanuts can interfere with medications, particularly blood thinners like warfarin. They contain vitamin K and other compounds that can affect how these drugs work, making medication management, already complex for many seniors on multiple prescriptions, even trickier. While an occasional peanut won't cause disaster, regular consumption after 60 introduces unnecessary risks when safer, more beneficial alternatives exist. That satisfying crunch can be found elsewhere. 2. Cashews. The blood sugar and kidney stone concern a few years back. I met Linda, name changed, a warm, vibrant 70-year-old who loved baking for her grandkids. She came in complaining of fatigue, persistent stomach discomfort, and unexplained spikes in her blood sugar. As we explored her diet, cashews emerged as a constant, not just as snacks, but in her cooking, smoothies, even the healthy granola bars she carried. "They're good for you, right?" she asked hopefully. Her story stuck with me because it perfectly illustrates how well-intentioned choices can backfire as our bodies change. Cashews were the disguise of a healthy nut, creamy, mild, often featured in health food aisles. But beneath the surface, they carry specific risks seniors need to know about. First, consider blood sugar. Cashews have a relatively high carbohydrate content for a nut, around 9 grams per ounce, and a higher glycemic impact than many realize. This means they can cause your blood sugar to rise more quickly than expected. For the vast number of seniors dealing with diabetes, 25%, or prediabetes, nearly 50%, these repeated spikes are problematic. The damage is often silent, accumulating over time, potentially leading to increased fatigue, brain fog, and worsening glucose control at your next checkup. Secondly, cashews are loaded with oxalates. These natural compounds bind to calcium in your digestive tract, making it harder for your body to absorb this crucial mineral. For seniors already at heightened risk for osteoporosis and calcium deficiency, this interference is unhelpful. Worse, excess oxalates can crystallize and contribute to the formation of painful kidney stones, a condition that becomes more common and more dangerous as we age. There's another, often overlooked, physical risk: choking. Cashews are smooth, curved, and surprisingly easy to accidentally inhale, aspirate, especially for seniors experiencing age-related changes in swallowing reflexes or dry mouth, a common side effect of many medications. Their texture, while creamy, can be deceptive. Among nuts, cashews are frequently involved in choking incidents involving older adults. Lastly, consider the processing. Raw cashews are actually toxic, containing urushiol, the same irritant found in poison ivy. To make them safe, they undergo significant processing: steaming, roasting, shelling. While necessary, this heavy processing can degrade some of their natural nutrients. What you're often left with is a tasty nut that offers less nutritional bang for your buck and carries specific risks for the senior body. Swapping them for almonds or walnuts is a safer, more functional choice. 3. Macadamia nuts. The silent weight gain culprit I once treated. Carl, name changed. A sharp, disciplined, retired engineer in his late 60s. Over several months, he noticed a gradual, steady weight gain. His blood pressure was also inching up, and he often felt sluggish after meals. Reviewing his diet, he chuckled, "Well, doc, I don't eat junk, but I do treat myself to a few macadamia nuts each night. They're supposed to be heart healthy, right?" That treat was likely the key. Macadamia nuts feel luxurious, rich, buttery, decadent. They're often marketed in upscale health circles. But for seniors, that indulgence comes with a significant metabolic cost. The core issue is density. Macadamias pack an enormous amount of fat and calories into a tiny package. Just 1 ounce, a small handful, delivers nearly 200 calories and a whopping 22 grams of fat. For someone over 60, whose metabolism has naturally slowed and daily activity levels may have decreased, those calories add up fast and stealthily. You're consuming the calorie equivalent of a small meal without feeling nearly as full. This is silent weight gain, creeping up without obvious overeating, making it hard to reverse. While they contain monounsaturated fats, like olive oil, macadamias are also one of the highest nuts in saturated fat, about 3 grams per ounce. For seniors actively managing cholesterol levels or blood pressure, regularly adding this type of fat isn't helpful and can potentially undermine other efforts to keep their heart healthy. There's also a hidden risk for those with gallbladder issues. Many older adults develop gallstones without dramatic symptoms, perhaps occasional bloating or mild discomfort after fatty meals. The extremely high fat content in macadamia nuts can act as a trigger, causing these stones to move and potentially leading to a painful gallbladder attack, requiring emergency care or surgery. I've seen this happen, and often the person had no prior warning signs. Finally, consider dental health. Macadamia nuts are very hard and dense. For seniors with dental bridges, crowns, implants, or simply sensitive teeth, biting down on them can risk cracking or damaging dental work, leading to painful and expensive repairs. That satisfying crunch can come at a literal cost. While they feel like a small indulgence, macadamia nuts carry a heavy caloric burden and specific physical risks that make them a less than ideal regular choice after 60. There are other nuts that satisfy without that baggage. For pine nuts, the medication and taste disruptor several years ago, Ruth, name changed, a thoughtful 74-year-old who meticulously managed her health, came in with a bizarre complaint. "Dr. Lee, everything tastes metallic. Even water tastes strange. It's been weeks. We explored medications, hydration, digestion, nothing obvious." Then she mentioned a new addition: homemade pesto, rich with pine nuts. That was the clue. Pine nuts are tiny, but for older adults, they can cause surprisingly significant disruptions. Ruth was experiencing pine mouth, metallic taste disturbance. This is a well-documented, though not fully understood, reaction to certain types of pine nuts, often linked to Chinese varieties. It causes a persistent, often intense bitter or metallic taste that can last for days or even weeks. While not directly dangerous, here's the real hidden danger for seniors. When food and water taste unpleasant, people unconsciously eat and drink less. For seniors already at risk of unintentional weight loss, dehydration, or malnutrition, this seemingly minor side effect can spiral into serious health consequences. Frailty, nutrient deficiencies, even hospitalization. Taste matters profoundly for maintaining adequate nutrition in later life. Beyond taste, pine nuts pose a significant concern regarding medication interactions. They contain specific compounds that can alter how drugs are metabolized in the liver. This includes common medications for blood pressure, cholesterol, statins, and mood, three of the most frequently prescribed drug classes for older adults. The risk: reduced effectiveness of the medication or unexpected, amplified side effects. Most seniors and many clinicians are unaware of this potential interaction. There's also an inflammation risk. Pine nuts are very high in polyunsaturated fats. While these can be healthy, they are delicate and prone to oxidation, especially if stored improperly or for too long. Oxidized fats promote inflammation, the opposite of what most seniors need, particularly those managing arthritis, joint pain, or chronic inflammatory conditions. Because pine nuts are often hidden in sauces, pestos, or baked goods, people may not even realize they're consuming them in significant amounts. Lastly, consider a physical hazard: aspiration risk. Pine nuts are small, smooth, and oily. For seniors experiencing dry mouth, a common medication side effect, or age-related changes in swallowing reflexes, these nuts can be easily inhaled accidentally, posing a choking hazard. Their size makes them particularly tricky. Given the combination of taste disruption, medication interference, inflammation potential, and physical risk, I strongly advise seniors to avoid pine nuts altogether. Safer, more predictable alternatives exist for adding flavor and healthy fats. Final doctor's message: your power to choose. Looking back on all my years sitting across from men and women in their 60s, 70s, 80s, and beyond, one powerful truth stands out. Aging itself doesn't break us down. It's the accumulation of small choices, made day after day, that either build resilience or quietly erode our foundation. And food, especially something as seemingly simple as which nuts you choose to snack on, sits right at the heart of that daily decision-making. Today, we've explored 8 nuts. For Brazil nuts, almonds, walnuts, pistachios, that I genuinely believe belong in the daily diet of every health-conscious senior. Not because they're trendy, but because the science consistently shows they work. They support critical functions: thyroid and hormone health, bone density and brain power, circulation and blood sugar balance, sleep quality and vitality. They help you feel more in control, more yourself. And we've looked at 4 others: peanuts, cashews, macadamia nuts, pine nuts, that, despite their healthy reputation, often work against the unique physiology of the body after 60. They can fuel inflammation, disrupt medications, spike blood sugar, contribute to unwanted weight gain or dangerous weight loss, and introduce hidden toxins or physical risks. They are frequently marketed as harmless or even beneficial, but your changing body tells a different story. I want to say this clearly, not just as Dr. David Lee, but as someone who has witnessed incredible transformations. You are not broken. You are not too old. Your health is not a lost cause. The body you inhabit today is still listening, is still capable of remarkable change. It still responds, often in deeply gratifying ways, to the consistent, positive choices you make. I've seen it happen time and again. The gentleman who swapped his daily peanuts for pistachios and saw his blood pressure numbers improve without adding another pill. The woman who started eating just 1 Brazil nut daily and finally felt her long-lost energy return. The couple who began sharing a small bowl of walnuts in the evening and discovered they were both sleeping soundly through the night for the first time in years. These aren't flukes or miracles. They're biology in action. They're your body doing exactly what it's designed to do when you provide it with the right building blocks and remove the obstacles. So tomorrow morning, as you walk into your kitchen, or the next time you're reaching for a snack, pause for just a second. Remember what you've learned here. Choose wisely. You don't need perfection. You don't need to overhaul everything overnight, but choose one positive change, and then keep choosing it. That's how lasting health is built. One conscious decision, one handful of the right nuts, one day at a time. Because this isn't just about lowering numbers on a chart. It's about waking up feeling steady and strong. It's about remembering your neighbor's name with ease. It's about having the sustained energy to enjoy a walk, share a deep laugh, hold a hand a little longer. It's about staying fully engaged in life, physically, mentally, emotionally, and intimately. I'm Dr. David Lee, and I want you to hold on to this. You're never too old to reclaim your strength. You're never too far along to rediscover your energy, your mental clarity, your confidence. Start by giving your body the right support, and it will meet you more than halfway. Start with the nuts. Let that simple choice be your first signal to your body and to yourself that you're ready to thrive in this next vibrant chapter. If this journey towards better health after 60 resonates with you, please consider subscribing to this channel. Hit that notification bell so you never miss information specifically tailored to help you live your fullest, healthiest life. Your well-being is worth investing in, and staying informed is a powerful step. Take care and choose well.